she still knew a lot of the old-timers in town, and she would walk into town every day or two for groceries and beer, singing in a loud voice all the way, as if she were the only person who could hear her. But by the time she had got out to Old Road, she naturally would have passed someone in the park who knew her. So she had to be aware that she wasn't the only person who could hear her. Regardless, she'd just go right on singing in a huge voice, singing songs from old Broadway musicals mostly. She knew all the songs from Oklahoma and West Side Story, and a few others as well, and she sang them, one after the other, all the way into town, then up and down the streets of town as she stopped off at the A&P, Brown's drugstore, maybe Hayward's Hardware, finally ending up at the Hawthorne House for a beer, before she headed back to the trailer park. Everywhere she went, she sang those songs in a loud voice that was puffed up with feeling if it was a happy song, or thick with melancholy if it was a sad song. You don't mind a person whistling or humming or maybe even singing to him or herself under his or her breath while he or she does something else, sort of singing absent-mindedly. But you do have to wonder about someone who forces you to listen to him or her the way Flora Pease forced everyone within hearing range to listen to her. Her voice wasn't half bad, actually, and if she'd been singing for the annual talent show the high school, say, and you were sitting in the audience, you might have been pleased to listen. But at midday, in June, on Main Street, when you're coming out of the bank and about to step into your car, it can be a slightly jarring experience to see and hear a person who looks like Flora Pease come striding down the sidewalk, singing in full voice about how the corn's as high as an elephant's eye. It can unsettle your entire day if you let it. And of course, most people can't help but let it. The second thing that made Flora seem cracked early on was the way she never greeted you the same way twice, or at least twice in a row, so you could never work out exactly how to act toward her. You'd see her stepping out of a trailer early on a summer day. It was summer when she first moved into the park, so everyone's first impressions naturally put her into summertime scenes, and you'd give a friendly nod. The kind of nod you offer people you live among, but aren't exactly friends with. Just a quick, downward tip of the face, followed by a long, upsweeping lift of the whole head, with the eyes closed for a second as the head reaches its farthest point back. Then, resuming your earlier expression and posture, you continue walking on, wholly under the impression that when your eyes were closed and your head tilted back, Flora had given you the appropriate answering nod. But no. Or apparently no, because she'd call out as you walked off, "Good morning!" And she'd wave her hands at you as if brushing cobwebs away. "Wonderful morning for a walk," she'd bellow. Her voice was a loud one, and caught off guard like that, you'd agree and hurry away. The next time you saw her, however, the next morning, for instance, when once again you walked out to Old Road, to the row of mailboxes for your mail, and passed her as, mail in hand, she headed back in from Old Road, you'd recall her greeting of the day before, and how it had caught you off guard, and you'd say, "Morning," to her, and maybe smile a bit, and give her a friendly and more or less direct gaze. But this time what you'd get back would be a glare, a harsh, silent stare, as if you'd just made an improper advance on her. So you'd naturally say to yourself, "The hell with it," and that would be fine, until the following morning, when you tried to ignore her, and she wouldn't let you. She'd holler the second she saw you, "Hey, a scorcher, right? Going to be a scorcher today, eh?" It was the sort of thing you had to answer, even if only with the word "yep," which you did, wondering as you said it, what the hell was going on with that woman? You wouldn't be alone in wondering. Everyone in the park that summer was scratching his or her head and asking one another what the hell was going on with the woman in number 11. Doreen Teed, who lived with her 5-year-old daughter, Maureen, in number 4, which was diagonally across the park road from Flora Pease's trailer, put Marcel on the spot, so to speak, something Doreen could get away with more easily than most of the other residents of the park. Marcel Chagnon intimidated most people. She was a large, hawk-faced woman, and that helped, and she was French-Canadian, which also helped, because it meant that she could talk fast and loud without seeming to think about it first, and most people who were not French-Canadians could not, so most people tended to remain silent and let Marcel have her way. In a sense, she was a little like Flora Pease. She was sudden and unpredictable.